Hey guys, as I said before, I'm going to be releasing videos, um, sharing my story and my experience that I've had with Cobb County and their entire system, basically. And I really, first of all, want to take the moment to thank Injustice in Georgia for picking up my story and other sources, to support that. And I really thank the support from that and the success that came through Injustice in Georgia regarding the state injustice with Ricky Johnson. It was a huge success. So I'm very happy to be a part of Injustice in Georgia and have my story shared through that. So definitely check that page out and check on the link to follow that in this story even closer. But this video is to kind of break down a little more that status I posted yesterday about Irma Glover and her trying to kill me. And I know it may have seemed like an exaggeration or just, feelings hurt. Or speaking of feelings, I don't know who knows much about a lawsuit or how that process goes, but you can't keep your emotions involved in it, so it has to be legal. And you're going to see very soon that Irma Glover violated that too. And this is my opportunity to get my emotions out, I guess, in any way in this video, and not keep it as part in the courtroom. So I have this form here that I'm waiting to send off. This judicial qualifications that you can send off if a judge violates certain things. And people who are in charge are still accountable. They have to be accountable for something. And just basically within that complaint, it first of all speaks of the fact of how it was bias of her to even be on my case. We knew each other, the conflict of interest from the beginning when I met her. And she didn't know I had just seen her. And she knows my family. She knew my family for over 20 years. She served my father on the vestry at St. Jude's Episcopal Church for 6 years. My mom works with her family now with her very successful janitorial company. And her nephew is my younger brother's godfather. So we are very close, and I know so much about her. I know where she goes to eat on Mondays. I know who she hangs out with. I know where her house is. I know so much about this judge. So for her to be on my case should never been in the case in the first place. And there was some, obviously I found out the hard way, there were some other reasons that she did not like me or my family, or for some reason, and took them out through me. And it's very hard to deny that or say anything else from what I'm about to show you. But that's basically what this judicial qualifications was going to talk about. And the fact that I had to file this complaint and get it together, she brought me into court multiple times, and she had a prosecutor, Melissa Tatum, that took personal attacks on my faith. And I prayed to myself when they're not in the courtroom, just to myself, looking at my paperwork. And she's like, you need to stop all of that. It's not about God, and God is not the judge in this case. Irma Glover is, so you need to stop worrying about that and focus on that and start worrying about that's who you need to worry about. Not Irma Glover, not God, but Irma Glover. And it was things like that from Melissa Tatum that I could not take anymore for no reason. This had nothing to do with the case or anything whatsoever about the legalities of this case that they are trying to prosecute, which we're going to get into in a minute, which is very, like I said, anyone who likes conspiracy theories or anything along that lines is going to get a kick out of this story. It's a paper trail the court left and thought that they had taken from me, and thought I had lost, but I saved everything, double, triple copied everything. I have videotape audio that we are going to show soon, but I also have to file a complaint on, let's see, I don't know where to go. I'm just going to show you some of the court dates that I had to go through with Irma Glover. Like, here's one right here. Here's another one we got here. And this is all from January to July. Here's another one right here. Another one here. Now this one is showing 4 court dates on one. So these are 4 different days. And some of these days, I went to court like 3 days in a week. And I don't know if any of you have been to court for a simple traffic ticket, which this is what it was, have ever had the time to go to court 3 times a week for nothing. And the judge just not giving you a chance to even pay the fine, get over with, be done with it, and just be on your way. So for those of you who think that I wanted to drag it out or be a victim or wanted to fight this and should have just, stayed out of the justice system and just, pay my fine, where I wasn't able to do that. Irma Glover would not allow me to do that. The first time I met her, she asked me the facts of the case, and I told her everything that she knew, that I knew about the case, and everything about the arrest and everything. And she held it on, and she whatever she must have heard about that, she wanted to hear more and keep the case going. So, like I said, this is one page of 4 times, 4 court dates right here in Loan. Here's another one of 4 more court dates. Like I said, most of these were multiple times a week, sometimes 3 or 4 times a week. Like, who has a life for that? Who has time for that? And there's a couple more. There's some more. Then there's a few more that I did not. There's a few more around, but basically, why I have this many court dates and it was dragging out so long was I was self-represented on the case. I did not have an attorney. I was working with Ricky Johnson, and he was his paralegal work, and very close friends of mine who went to law school, and very good resources I had that helped educate me on what to do through this process. And I did not need an attorney, and that's supposedly one of our rights. Correct? Is we have the right to represent ourselves. So I took that right, and I knew I had a case that I was innocent in, and it was completely wrong, and I'm about to show you that. The arrest happened on May 21st, 2013 by the Marietta Police Department. Unfortunately, the person that was involved in this, Cody Haywood, is no longer alive. They found him in a hotel room, unresponsive, and his death is kind of fishy around it. Anyone who knew Cody, he was a really good person, and a good soul, and he always tried to help people. Many people didn't try to help him, but he tried to help people. And reason why I say that is I'm not saying they killed him or anything had to do with it, but it's just a little fishy. He would have been the only witness to this case. And they actually, when I was at court, they thought that I was Cody. They showed me the mugshot and they said, "This is you, right?" I was like, "No, that's Cody. You got the wrong person." And that was one of the issues too. But the officers basically said that I was at Motel 6 on May 21st. I had Cody with me, and we were buying weed, marijuana, and we had just bought it at the store at some person who lived there, and we basically that was the story. We had just bought it, and he pulled us over, and he smelt it all over the car. Then he searched the car. He said he searched the car. He said he found marijuana all over the floor, the weed we had just bought. He said he found a grinder that had weed in it and all this stuff, and that he had to search the car, and like I said, it was all scattered everywhere. So, now mind you, this is what he's saying happened. I have a videotape that I'm going to show you tomorrow that is going to be complete opposite, and I will show you the narrative of his police report that is going to be the complete opposite of his video. I showed that to the prosecutors. I told that to Irma Glover. She still held on to it. They still held on to it. So we continued to go, and when I got my evidence, I even showed them what I'm about to show you. The officer's saying that I had marijuana just bought. I had it all over the car. I had a grinder full of it. I had a container full of it. Let's look at the official Marietta Police Department evidence they have, and the total weight for all evidence. I don't know if you can see there. It's kind of funny because they actually put the less than sign. Nobody does that. The less than 0.1 gram. Is that even existable? Less than 0.1 gram. Anyone who knows anything about measurements or anything knows that that is not an amount you will be able to buy and be scattered all over the car and be inside of a grinder, inside of a container to be total evidence. That doesn't make sense. Furthermore, on the next page, he has for his evidence as the marijuana value $0. Grinder that he said I had that was not there. $0. That was the value of everything. Do you get where I'm going with this? there was never any marijuana. I have text messages in my phone to prove that Cody Haywood needed gas money to get to where he was going. He was being kicked out of his house, and I was transferring him, and simple as that. And we needed to stop there at that place to get the gas money, and I got a text message to prove that the girl, it's kind of funny because she was giving us $20, or no, $10, I'm sorry, $10 and had only 9 because she spent 1 on Arizona. And I got those texts to prove that. So it was no kind of drug activity, no sort of any sketchiness. So Cody was there, so we did that. We get there, I get pulled over, and the officer is ready to pull his gun on me when I'm sitting in the car driving Ricky Johnson's car. He tells me the car has no insurance on it. It is stolen, and I need to get out the car. I said, there's no way this car is reported stolen. It is Ricky Johnson, who I'm his caregiver, and vice versa, and you mean to tell me it's stolen and has no insurance on it? And I know for a fact that there is double car insurance on it, which I'm going to just go ahead and show you that right now. This is from the Georgia Motor Vehicle Division Insurance History Report that we printed off, and it shows that the car, it's either this page, they even circled it for us, right here. The car had 2 insurance policies at the time, and it double lapsed. So for him to tell me the car had no insurance and was reported stolen, okay, this is my proof right there that it had insurance. He wouldn't let me call Ricky Johnson while I was in the vehicle, so he made me step out the vehicle after he told me all this stuff, that it was no insurance and it was reported stolen. So obviously, you got to get out the car. So I'm getting out the car. He's already reaching for his gun while I'm sitting in the car because I want to call Ricky. And I'm not about to play with that. So I get out the car, I stand on the curb, and you're going to see all this in the video. I was standing there on the curb and just answering all their questions, telling them the same story again. He made me leave my phone in the car, and he went to the car and got my phone and opened it for me. And I was like, okay, look in there and just look for his name, Rico. Just call his name, and he'll tell you everything. He's at Gypstick because, at the time, Ricky was training to be a juvenile corrections officer at Gypstick in Forsyth, Georgia, and it's like a training, like a boot camp facility, and he was, training there. So I told him just to call him. He's there right now. He can answer and verify this whole story for you. And he calls him, and I'm sitting there, and everything's okay. I'm on the curb. The other officer's talking to me, asking me the story. I'm telling him the same exact thing. The officer Gunkel hangs up the phone. The second he hangs up the phone, which you're going to see on the video, after verifying that the car had insurance, that it was not stolen, he hangs up the phone and immediately puts me in handcuffs and puts me under arrest and puts me in the back of the phone, the cop car. And you're going to see in the video that I'm asking there, I'm actually going to be embarrassed, but I'm crying in there, wondering why I'm being arrested. Asking him, what am I being arrested for? What are my charges? What is going on here? I'm knowing there's no weed all over the floor, and I just bought weed, and he just found it. Like he's going to say in his report that we stepped out the vehicle, he searched the vehicle, he found marijuana, I said it was mine, and that he put me under arrest. That's what he's saying what happened. And it was a clean, easy little incident like that. You're going to see it went nothing like that on the video that I have. That we requested a motion for discovery, and speaking of motions, we submitted so many motions with Irma Glover. Self-represented motions for discovery for anything they're going to use at trial, and that's what they reported, like half of the evidence. A motion to dismiss it because it was less than anything, less than an ounce. It was like barely. There's no evidence there. We submitted a request for interrogatories and admissions by the officers that basically, let me show you how big this is. 1, 2, 3, 4 pages long of questions, and first of all, it's admissions. And the next page is questions for the officers that we were going to use for trial, that we submitted before, that the officers were going to basically walk right into their lies and expose themselves. They were not wanting to go to court. Irma did not want to take this to court. Let it go. She didn't. Another one here, failure to, motion to dismiss for failure to discharge in a timely manner. Like I showed you, all those court days we had been, that was too much. What's the point of that? That's wasting courtly duties and just wasting people's funds. What is she doing? And this is a simple little the marijuana charge that we have. You saw that little flaky evidence there. Okay. So, anyways, back to the incident. I'm there, and we go to jail and everything, and I'm sitting in the car, and the officer is basically going back and forth and telling me, somebody has to take this, that's his charge. Somebody's going to jail. Meanwhile, we're both already under arrest. For what? He's going back and saying somebody's gotta take these charges, and I'm like, okay, you just told me I'm under arrest for grand theft auto and no insurance, so I'm sitting here like, okay, whatever, like, this is gonna be easy to prove. Once I get to the jail, I can just call Ricky, and he's gonna be able to, verify again that, or we go to court again that the car is not stolen. It had double insurance, so whatever. I'm just sitting there. They're searching the car and everything. No, they didn't have any evidence on me. And then, anyway, sorry. And then, during that time, the officer brought in. He said, he had asked me before I got in the car. He had asked me, "Is there anything in this car that I need to worry about?" Of course, and I was like, "No, there's not at all." So, he's like, "So you don't have a problem with me searching your vehicle?" And I said, I don't have a problem with that, but I'm going to say no, because I know you can't just pull over random people and start searching their vehicles." And that's all I said. And that pissed him off, and he, reached for his gun and called in his K9 people and did whatever he was going to do and called extra people in. And that was, right before we got out of the vehicle. So that was, I forgot to mention that part. So, so while we were there, like I told you, this was only my second time hanging out with Cody and the incident. I had never seen anything sketch before. And like I said, he used my phone to text this girl asking for the gas money. So I saw for myself that this was no kind of sketch activity, drug activity, nothing going on. It was strictly about gas money, and for him to transport from the place he was being kicked out of to the place in Gwinnett, called Gwinnett, whatever. And so as I'm already under arrest, sitting in the back of the car, wondering why am I under arrest for grand theft auto, no insurance? The officer's searching, and he searches through Cody's things and finds a box of I forgot what he said. He says an iPhone box. He found an iPhone box that contained. That's where he said he found a grinder. That is the only thing that he brought out of the car and put on my hood and said in the back of the hood. And you're gonna see on the video that I'm in the back of the car and put it on the hood and put it on. I was like, what is this? I don't know. So he comes back and asks me, what is it? I don't know. I'm also going to show you on another videotape that I got. It's going to show Cody Haywood's version while he was under arrest in his car, and he's going to be describing every single item in the box, what's in there, what it looks like, what's it's from, and now you're going to see me crying. You're going to see me crying, really embarrassing, but you're going to see me crying, wondering how am I going to get out of this situation and go home and just be free. Like, Cody had just got out of jail for 30 days prior to that for a charge that was really bad. And I did not know that up until the 2 days that I had met him in that moment, in that drive that we were going to Gwinnett. And, he opened up and told me some things. And my heart is always there to help people, always there to help people. And that gets me in trouble sometimes. But in this moment, I was already under arrest for grand theft auto, no insurance, supposedly. That I knew that was easy to dismiss, because when I go to court, they're going to ask for my proof of insurance, and I'm going to be able to show that I had double insurance. When they ask for the grand theft auto charge, Ricky Johnson's going to be there to prove that my car was not stolen. So I was like, okay, this is good. This is just a harassment. This is discrimination. Whatever it is, I just need to hurry and wrap this up and get home. I don't feel good. I'm getting sick. So he's going back and forth, telling us one of us got to take the charge and whatnot, and Cody's in the other car, and I'm in this one. So I'm just like telling the officer, okay, you know what? This is too much. I'm just gonna take it. I'm just gonna take it. The video you see is gonna end, and that's where they edited it. They edited it and stopped it right there. Now there has been 2 more videos that they will not release to me that they have edited. So I know for sure all the rumors about the Sandra Bland video being editing, I can very much believe them. They straight up edited all my videos and made them sequence to ways that they look like certain things. And Irma Glover and Melissa Tatum and her team that she had, the officers that got the evidence, they all conspired together to do that. I was in the office when they did that, and they showed me the 3 different videotapes. So I am not accusing, I am stating facts of what I seen and what I saw of being in the prosecutor's office and behind Judge Irma Glover's office, where they especially gave me special treatment, where they did not want me to see other people talking like this and speaking my rights and wanting everybody else to do their rights in front of everyone. So they kept that a secret. And I'm just going to keep it moving a little bit, but I got way off course there. My last day, all those court dates I just showed you, we were going in and out of court multiple times. They knew they were not going to win that case. And it was May 1st. May 1st, I sat down, and had no lawyer. I was sitting there. They wanted to arrest Ricky because he was my only witness, and he was in the courtroom, and that was just another harassment they did. Every time I came, Irma Glover had a sheriff come out and wanted to arrest him and any of my witnesses that I brought to court for no reason. They weren't even speaking. They weren't talking. They had the right to be in the courtroom like everyone else. They just harassed us. And she would make us wait till, like I said before, the last person in the courtroom for no reason, just for her personal... I really don't... I can't even describe what it is, what she was doing, because it's unreal. It's an unreal nightmare. And anyways, this is where things get a little tricky and a little juicy right here. I was in court the last day on July 24th, 2014. My last day in court, after I had a May 1st trial where I sat down, the jury was like, we're not going to convict this man. We don't believe in the marijuana laws in Georgia. They need to be revisited. I have cousins, I have family that, go through, have illnesses, and marijuana helps them. It's the only thing that helps them. Or for example, like I know someone has cancer and it helps them, etc. So they said that, and Irma, this is her exact words, Mr. Wells, hold on a second, and brings Melissa Tatum up there, and they talk and they discuss, and then 30 seconds later they tell me to come up there in front of everyone. I go up there, and they're like, Mr. Wells, it looks like times are changing, and we're gonna try this case another time. We're not letting this go. A jury just told you they're not going to convict me. I showed you all my evidence on several other cases. You brought me in so many times and wasted my time, including making me get stuck in the ice storm that we had back in February because she wanted me to wait till the last person in court and just wait there. So that big old historic ice storm we had, I was stuck out there just because of Irma Glover. And so I'm in there. So that was May 1st. I'm sorry. And we have the trial. It doesn't work. Whatever. And from then, she keeps on trying to bring me to court. Bring me to court. I'm still doing this, playing this little game with her where she's doing 3 days a week. And I'm doing it. I'm making all of them. She's trying to get a fade to appear. Because she can't win the case, so she's going to have to resolve it somehow. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to give up when something's wrong and I have something to say. I'm not going to give up. And so she just kept on bringing me in. And then the last day I was in court was July 24th, right here. And I signed my name July 24th, 2014. You can see that. Signed my name, all that. Went home, waited. And what it says is you are put on a on-call period that could last for 3 weeks. And in that 3-week period, they can call you at any time for a trial, okay? And, whatever, that's the 3-week period. And if they don't call you by in that 3-week period, you will be called by September 11th, 2014. That was my date. So that's that. We don't hear anything. That was July 24th. I don't hear anything about the court date. Nothing at all from July 24th. My anxiety, I don't know if many of you know, I have really bad asthma, even though I sing and I, do all my stuff with music and I, whatever, but I really have a problem with my asthma, and it's always been since I was little. I've been hospitalized for it for a week at a time, and it's all really emotional, attached, and tied in, and I can't help it to an extent. I try to do things to calm down, and my grandfather was Chinese, and he taught me a lot of things like, herbs and smoothies I can take to help my naturally calm down and everything. But all that wasn't working at this point, and it was just putting my anxiety at a point where my doctors had to put me on medicines like Ambien to sleep at night, Xanax for my anxiety, so many other things that they had to put me on. And I take, like, here's one of the inhalers I take every day. This is a steroidal inhaler. I got to take it 3 times a day just to boost up my lungs from everything that happened, but I'm going to tell you out more. I take this every day. I was taking it before, not as much. This is the second one I take to open it up, the fast-acting inhaler. Many of you asthma people who know or have kids know what some of this stuff is. This is a nebulizer machine. I add a liquid form to it, and I have to have daily breathing treatments on that. So all that was being interrupted, and I was having this one particular issue where my stomach was bloating to the point where I thought it was going to explode. And they didn't know what it was, and they knew it was like IBS or some kind of anxiety thing that was happening from this. So I was going to the doctor, and going to the emergency room, and they were all saying, and I am like a paper hoarder. I'm a hoarder on some things, so I held all my paperwork, every single bit of paperwork I got from the court. I held onto it and kept the paper trail and carried it around with me every single where I went. And always record things and keep your paperwork. And that's what I did, and I always had it with me. So every time I went to the doctor, my story was easily to be told or believable because I had, paperwork to show that, this is what happens with here. You see what she's doing, these in and out court dates. And they had, by that time, they had already sent her notes from Emory Hospital saying that my patient is here having an anxiety attack because of you and your harassment. Like, can you please stop? Ignored it, whatever. So I don't hear anything until August 11th. And mind you, I told you Melissa Tatum was attacking my faith and saying God didn't matter and everything. So they had taken her off on June 10th after I filed a complaint with William Perdue with Cobb County. And he did not respond to me. He didn't say anything back. But I guess they acted. They took her off and they assigned this new person, Adam Abate, which you are going to hear a very, very nasty recording from him, calling me a racist, and anyone right there who immediately knows me and the people I hang out with and the diverse group of people I hang out with. And I even hate to say how I talk, but I am not a stereotypical whatever they tried to paint me of, and nobody is. And there's so many people that are different, and to be ignorant and say some of the things that he said, and you're just gonna hear it. It's just I'm not gonna get into that. I'm just gonna let his words speak for himself, because that's a whole nother mess that he said too much he shouldn't have said. And so he calls me on August the 11th, 2014, and tells me that Irma Glover said that no matter what you do, if you win, if you show all your evidence, which I'm going to block them so you can't show most of your evidence, which I was going to find some way around that, is she's going to put you in jail, find you guilty, and charge you with all these charges, regardless. I'm like, all these charges, first of all, it's one, so what are you talking about? Oh, it's going to go up after trial. Okay, that's news to me, and you're threatening me, basically telling me I have no option. Like, I'm going to fight. What happened to our rights? Why are we, what's the point of telling us that we have the right to represent ourselves if you're going to put me in jail regardless if I win, if I do the right thing, if I obey the law, if I find the right laws like a lawyer would do, and I find the right law, you're still going to put me in jail? That's fair? That's right? That system is for everyone? No. So anyways, he calls me and tells me that I'm at my doctor's office while this is happening. The one that, I've prescribed is Xanax and Ambien, so they have to monitor that kind of stuff. And I was there, and I got the phone call while I was there. Ironically. Not ironically. That's God, okay? God's timing is the best timing, okay? And they called me right when I was in my doctor's office and threatened me with all that. I had on speakerphone and everything. I fell to the floor, blacked out. I don't remember much about that. Had a panic attack right there on the spot on August the 11th. They came to the office, the ambulance, took me straight out of the office and took me to Emory Hospital, and I stayed there all the way to August 12th, and I was just in there just sick, throwing up. They had to give me morphine for the pain that I was having in my stomach that was so bad that the bloating was going to explode me, and I had to go to X-rays and so many things I don't want to get into. That it was insane. All over anxiety. When they tell you stress is a silent killer, it really is. It really is. And I was there all this time up until August 12th, and then here it is. I'm resting. And at 9 o'clock, no, I say about 9 o'clock on August 12th that morning after I'm there, we're sitting there. The doctors have just left my room. I was still on the morphine. I was tired out. I was just like, I just had the conversation with Adam Bate the day before, who said that whatever happens, you're going to jail. So, yeah, that's it. So I'm in the hospital, and I get another phone call from Marjorie Roberts, Irma Glover's other assistant, that says that Irma Glover wants you in court in 30 minutes. 30 minutes. You're going to call me on a random day and just say, come here to court in 30 minutes. And all these times that I've been in court, I've come to court 3 days a week, and I've been there for every single time. You want me here randomly while I'm sick because of your employee just called me yesterday and threatened me about some illegal stuff you're about to do. So Emory's like, wow, they get to hear it again. This is a whole nother doctor getting to hear this conversation. So Emory sends Irma Glover another note. It says, this note verifies that David Wells, my birthday, has been seen in our facility for anxiety reaction on August 12th. And at the bottom it says, and should be excused from his court appearance today. They did that because they knew everything, that all my anxiety reaction, everything that was going on was related to Irma Glover and everything she was doing. I know this woman. I told you I can tell you where she lives. I can tell you what she eats on Mondays, where she goes to eat on Mondays. Like, this is not a judgeship on my case. She should have taken herself off a long time ago. So they gave me that note. The whole time in there, this is another note from the other hospital I was in. I never left the hospital. I was there the whole time. Here's another note from the hospital, August 12th. I went back that evening. The next day, I had to go see a psychiatrist because everything, to readjust my medication and everything. So here's the 8/13 where I was in the psychiatrist being evaluated, and I was still there. And he actually, this doctor who did the psychiatric evaluation said, you are completely unstable, and they're still calling you and harassing you, and this makes no sense. You are innocent. I'm referring you right now to go back to the emergency room. And he referred me back to the emergency room, and I did. I went right back to Emory University, and when I got there, I started telling the story, and I started convulsing and losing my breath and blacking out and having another panic attack. At this point, I couldn't even tell the story without freaking out and having an anxiety attack and feeling so sick because of Irma Glover, and knowing that this woman knew me and was hating me for so much, for no reason. I didn't do anything to her family, nothing, and she's just doing this to me. And so that was August 13th that was going on. So they're sending all these notes to the courthouse and everything, making sure they're covering my back, and they're making sure I'm good. And they're like, this woman is crazy. They told me this woman is crazy, and they're ready to testify and say she is crazy because she has called me herself while I'm on a speakerphone. Had her assistant Andrea Nicholson on the phone talking to me while they're in the background. Okay, and making fun of me and everything. So that just goes by. That's August 13th, and I'm just recovering after that and getting my getting everything together. And this is when things get kind of crazy. I believe this is when James Bond on August 21st called my mom. The people who originally bonded me out for the May 21st arrest. This whole thing that happened. And called my mom and said, "Hey, I'm looking for your son. He's skipping out on court for his little misdemeanor. I'm trying to find him and pick him up. I don't want him to go to jail for this little misdemeanor. It's not worth it. Let me just talk to him. Get him to come in. It's whatever." I was like, miss court? Now I'm going to court all these times. I'm not going to miss court and give it in to Irma Glover that easy. I'm going to win this case. I'm not going to give it up that easy, like having a failure to appear. No way that's going down. So I immediately call James Bond the next morning, and I head up there, and I go, and I show my paperwork. Let me see. Here it is. And I get there, and James Bond is telling me that, Irma Glover is saying that you missed court on July 24th. I'm like, oh, really? I missed court on July 24th. How is that possible when I got my court slip right here that says July 24th? And this is an official court document that I only get when you only get from court. The lady faxes it to Lewis to James Bond, who I owe everything to in this moment. And I really appreciate him, and God bless him, and God bless his business, James Bond Bonding. They did so much for me in this process, and I really thank them. Anything I do in the future to help them, I will. So she faxes over. He's like, all right, I have this paper here, and it says July 24th. So let me call the courthouse. He calls the courthouse, and Andrea Nicholson answers from Judge Irma Glover's office, and it's like, hey, your guys are saying that this dude missed court on July 24th, but here I am looking at his paper that is from you guys that says he was in court. So what's going on here? Irma Glover is in the background talking to Andrea, he tells me, and they're like, oh, hold on, we'll call you back in a minute, Lewis. So they go, call him back, we wait for a minute, he calls me back, and he's like, all right, so obviously something's going on here, sketch. I just asked them about this date, and they couldn't even give me a straight date. They're just acting weird, so hold off on that warrant, don't arrest him, because I came to them and went to the bail bondsman and sat there with them, because I was not guilty. And so I went up there, and we were sitting there, and waiting. About 5 minutes later, Andrea Nicholson calls back, and she said, Judge Glover made a mistake, and she meant to put the warrant as August 13th. August 13th? You just called and told him it was July 24th. Now you're calling to say the date is August 13th. Remember this, guys. It's 3 different dates I'm about to say. August 13th. They said July 24th, which is the day I was in court, so it absolutely couldn't be. So they messed up there. You lied. You lied, Irma. And they called back and said August 12th. Did I not just show you a whole stack of paperwork that I was in the hospital that entire time? So she jumped from one time frame of July 24th to August 12th, a time that she knew she was harassing me and bullying me while I was in the hospital receiving my own care. Never once was I told I had a court date. Never once does the court have no record I had a court date. They can't even show you that I had a court date. And if they do, I would love to see that. And they can't, because I have the whole court file record. This right here is from the Emory Hospital, sitting there telling Irma Glover on August 12th to excuse me from any court appearance you might be trying to hold. So that cleared up any questions there. So what's that about? Lewis gets that and sees that, okay, he has this too. This can't be the date. This can't be the date. Hold on. We'll call back. We meant to say August 12th, and we're going to leave it at that. And Judge Irma's not going to change it anymore. And we're just like, kind of left looking dumbfounded. Like, so she's going to really leave this ignorant, like, up in the air and unsure, and just have me out here think I have a warrant for my arrest, and it's not even unclear, and she's because nothing. So he's like, don't worry about it. I got you. You clearly, I see what's going on here. There's something going on here. They're doing something. They're playing games. The paperwork's not adding up. Dates are adding up. You don't July 24th through August 13th through August 12th. It's like, it's either or. It's one day you were missed court. That's easy to tell. But, and you have all my paperwork. So, anyway, so that's that. And that was on August 21st, 2014. And so that's that court date. Now this is where it gets kind of a little wrapped up with Irma, but I randomly received, I'm sitting there wondering still what's kind of going on with this. I let it rest for a couple of days, and on August 25th, I just called some people and asked, what am I supposed to do about this? It's not adding up. They said I need to call them and ask what to do, and I called their office, or I didn't call their office, they called me. They called me and told me that, I'm sorry, I called them. I did call them. I called them on the morning of August 25th, and I asked them, what's going on with this warrant? This Terrence Brad, I don't know what's going on with this warrant. Like, I have these paperwork from the doctors saying that it's invalid. Like, what's going on in the warrant? You saying I have a failure to appear? I need to clear this up. What's going on? And I need to know there's no resolution to this case. I'm ready for trial. I'm ready to go fight this and ready to go see this jury and ready to see, and do what I gotta do. And we're waiting for it. And Andrea Nicholson says, well, Irma said that what she's gonna do for you is she's going to not let you go, not make you go through the regular court-appointed process, and she is going to select and assign you an order of appointment to Terrence Bradley. That's what she said, Terrence Bradley. And this is the email I got on August 25th from Andrea Nicholson. And it says, Mr. Wells, please find attached a PDF copy of the order of appointment the court has entered. Please contact Mr. Bradley as soon as possible. Okay, as soon as possible. Please let me know if you have any questions. Have a lovely day. And that's just the order of appointment back here, if anyone wants to see that really quick. And it basically says, the Circuit Defender's Office is directed to appoint Terrence Bradley to represent the defendant in the above-style case. And it gives me his name, his address, his contact number, and it was signed this 22nd day of August. That's when they had did it. And August 25th is when I got the email, sorry. So they did that. That was done. They signed this order of appointment the day that following the James Bond incident and all that clear up. That was them signing this judge off to kind of clear the incident up. He was supposed to clear this warrant up, fix it up. Irma Glover knew she messed up. And she went and found someone and appointed them the next day after all that to get all this, cleared up, supposedly. And then wait till we get to that. So we get there, and, things are just going on. And that's, back in August. And things are just going through, and we're still battling with Ricky's, work comp case. And they're just denying his treatment. And thank God that case is now finally settled. But at the time, it wasn't. And it was just bad. And one of, unfortunately, Ricky's things was the state was kind of guinea pigging with medicine and his treatment. And they were not obeying what the doctor was saying by taking him, to hospitals where he needed to be, or certain treatment that the doctor was saying he needed. And they were just disobeying that. And so they're guinea pigging medicine. And he went up from a dosage of 10 milligrams to 20 to 40 milligrams of Lexapro in like a 2-week or 1-week period. And it was just like really quick. And it was just for the state's recommendation because they wouldn't do what the doctor wanted. So he went on that, and it was a really bad reaction. He woke up one day and didn't know who he was, and just everything was crazy, just insane. I don't want to dwell too much on that. It was very traumatic. And ended up, slicing his arm and self-harm and wanted to commit suicide. And that incident was, resolved with him staying in the hospital, several times at Peachford and Ridgeview and getting help. And God bless that, we're getting on that recovery path. And that was just also fueled by everything else that Irma was doing, because every time I went to court, mind you, all the stack of paperwork, he was there with me too, because they were trying to tell me the car was stolen, and all he got to do is say that's not the case. This case was very easy to prove not. And that's why Irma Glover, I don't know why she didn't just let it go, because it was so easy to get rid of, and she didn't. She didn't want to. So, time was just going by, and he had another relapse that happened on September 10th, 2014. And we're just, no court date, nothing's going on here. I'm just supposedly in the safe zone with Irma Glover because she appointed this lawyer to me who, remind you, does not talk to me. I called him 3 times a day, would not answer my phone calls. I went by his office. I tried to talk to him. He wouldn't talk to me for anything. And I finally said, I got to see this man. Look, look, this is a warrant. You got a warrant for my arrest. You can't just have people thinking for the arrest and they don't. So I make an appointment to see him on September 16th. And I finally meet, and that appointment is set up and whatever. But a little bit before that, on September 10th, the night of September 10th going to 11th, Ricky has a bad relapse. And the state had sent some letters that were very just degrading, and they regretted it. They paid for it now, and they made right now. But at the time, it was really wrong, and it was very unbelievable too. But he got that, and it sent him into another relapse. And it was the wrong medicine he was on and everything, and the treatments weren't right. So it was a bad reaction, and he ended up wanting to kind of disassociated and wanted to take the keys in the car and drive it into a ditch. And I was not going to have that. So I was stopping him from doing all that. And every time that we had been to a therapy group or anything, any kind of his treatment stuff, they had always said like, go to call Georgia Mobile Crisis, because they are experiencing all this and traumatic and suicide hotline. They will they know what to do to tell you what to do to talk you out of it. So I did that. I called them and they dispatched 2 therapists there, and they came out to the scene and they talked to us, and we were there and talking and everything. At that time we had shared a phone and everything because, like I said, I was his caregiver and we everything was close. And they came out, they talked to us, they kind of got their situation, what was going on, they saw what needed to happen, so they called 911. 911 now for Cobb County was supposed to send EMS like they did every other time I called for his suicide attempts or any other thing, psychiatric emergency where he was, shaking or convulsing and, disassociated and didn't know who he was and things like that, just from the medicine, which he doesn't, he has the right regimen now and it doesn't happen. But at the time it wasn't right, and that was happening, and he was going through a lot, and that had happened, and they knew they called the therapists out, they called the cops that got there, and they were talking to therapists and everything, and the cops, once they got there, first of all, they came into the scene like it was a SWAT almost. It was 2 of them, but they came like a SWAT, like just rushing in and just completely turned up from the beginning, and came over and was like, "What's going on?" The therapist trying to explain to them, "Okay, well, they're going through a lot right now. This is going through a bad state. They have, they're dealing with a judge that's, falsely like just attacking them, and they're really stressed right now. And his asthma and everything, his other illnesses are acting up because of the stress, and they're going through a lot right now." So the officer talks to us and everything, and Ricky has never had a speeding ticket, warning, anything in a day in his life. So the officer goes and talks to Ricky, all right, now, and here's where things get like very messed up. The officer talks to Ricky, and about not even 5 minutes, I'm gonna say 3 minutes. 3 minutes into talking to Ricky, he puts him under arrest and charges Ricky with battery against me. Now, what's about that? Who is pressing charges there? Who is hurt? Whatever. Now, the other officer comes and puts me in handcuffs and says we both need to go to Cobb Hospital in Austell to have a 1013 evaluation. That basically means you're psychologically unstable, and the state can take hold of you for like 5 days or however long they see fit and put you in a mental institution hospital. That's what they're trying to do to us. I'm like, that's what you're trying to say is happening to me right now? Okay, so I know somebody else is in the background tying to this, and you're going to see why later. But so we go to the hospital. They transport us separately. We get to the hospital. I'm over here standing to the left on the loading dock at Cobb Emergency Hospital. And Ricky's over here on the right getting out of his cop car. And as I'm getting out, I look over. They shove Ricky to the ground. He's in handcuffs and already was crunched up in the back because he's taller. And falls to the floor and scratches up his knees, scratch up his elbows that are in handcuffs, and starts yelling, "Y'all push me, y'all push me." And the officer runs across the loading dock, is like, "Make sure when you write in your report that he fell and we didn't push him, because he's going to say that." And sure enough, when he wrote his report, he insinuated that part. And it just looks so like, why would you exaggerate that part if it didn't happen? Like you just said, like we just said. Anyways, but he said not to do that. And we get into the hospital. And when I tell you God is in this, God was in this. Because the night we got into that hospital room, they had it separately, but the art nurse who had ever officially diagnosed Ricky with his PTSD, his mood disorder, the sleep insomnia, all this stuff that was happening from his job, and the nightmare from the riot that he was involved in, and all that. She was there. She recognized him. She was there and recognized him. She was a doctor, and she was like, "Whoa, he cannot go to jail. He was a juvenile corrections officer. This will directly trigger all of his everything and put him right back to where he does not need to be, and it's gonna hurt him. And you can't do this." And also, another ironic thing is one of the hospitals, that he had stayed at, Ridgeview Day Hospital, one of the nurses were working, she had quit Ridgeview and started working at the emergency room. Isn't that not crazy? Started working there, and was working that night and recognized him, like, "Hey, Ricky, what's up?" And tell him everything going on, and he was having a panic attack there, like this right there in front of his face. They had to give him 2 or 4 maybe shots of Ativan. I was in the room, but I know they had to give him Ativan shots. And the officer comes in after 5 minutes and is like, I'm going to let you go. I think it looks like your batter is your buddy causing all the problems anyway, so you're good to go, Mr. Wells. And I'm like, good to go with my buddy? What are you talking about? Like, don't worry about it. You're good. You're good to go. Just all you know about it, you're good. I know it's your buddy causing all problems. You're good to go. Now remember that. Now remember that. He said, I'm good to go. So I'm just sitting there chilling at the hospital, and I go for a glass of water. And I go out and look in the room that I think that Ricky's supposed to be in next to me, because it's been quiet for a while. I'm thinking he's sedated or whatever, and he is not in there. And I start asking my nurse, where is he at? And they say, oh, I'm sorry, but they took him to jail 2 minutes after the officer left. I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? For what? They charged him with battery, and they said you're fine, but they charged him with battery against you. And I could not believe it. So I would start talking to doctors, everything. They knew us from the records, from everything that had been going there. They knew that Ricky had needed to be EMS, not 911. So they saw all the records. They let me go and let me walk home from Cobb Hospital all the way to Powder Springs, where I lived at the time, and walked all the way home. And it took me like 2 hours, but I walked home and immediately got on the phone and talked to some people and found out they had talked to Ricky already, and they had said Ricky's been beat, Ricky's been they're not giving him his medicine, anything. And now Ricky got to the jail while I was walking home and everything, or I was at the hospital overnight. They had taken Ricky to jail, and when he got there, he passed out, and they thought he was joking, but the officer wrote in his report that he was hyperventilating, he was, panicking, he couldn't move, he was stiff in some areas, and that's exactly what happens with every other panic attack he had. That's exactly what he was having. And the officer took him in this room, and they beat the hell out of him. They cut him up with a knife. They got a knife, and they sliced his clothes off with a knife, cutting his body in the process, putting bruises all over his body, beating him, kneeing him in his back, and leaving him in a room that had feces and urine all over the floor with no toilet, no water, nothing. And their only defense is, oh, we gave him 1 glass of water. That's not going to cut it, people. I don't care if it is jail. People still got rights, and they still need to live. Mind you, Ricky never had any speeding ticket, nothing in his life. So anybody who wants to be ignorant and jump on the fact that, well, it is jail, so whatever, it is jail. Well, you know what? You still got rights, and you can do any situation to end up there yourself. Okay, you miss a speeding ticket that you thought you had in your busy lifestyle going on, and you missed a court date, and it's just like that. They suspend your license. You don't find out until you get pulled over and go to jail, and nobody wants to talk to you because they want to be ignorant like you and judge you because you went to jail for a simple mistake, and you are stuck in jail. You lose your car from impound. You lose your job because you can't show up for a week. You lose everything. You want to talk. Then you want to talk to somebody and be ignorant and tell them, oh, jail is for people. That's the problem we got now about people going to jail, and our family wants to turn our back on them and not help them. That's the part of the issue here, not just the other side. We got to stand together as people, everyone. I'm not talking about race here, everyone. Everyone needs to stand together. And yes, that is an issue that minorities are filling the jail systems. There is no way you can convince me that any race, black, white, Asian, anything, any minority is genetically predisposed to commit crimes over another race. That does not make sense. You show me where it said that in a book, and I'll believe that. I still won't believe it. Okay, there's something else going on. I agree with that point. But we as people have to educate ourselves on the law and know how to fight back these things and not put up with this. And Irma Glover did not like that in me. And this same fight that I had is the same one I had. I'm not cussing you out. It may sound like I am, coming at you all hard, and I understand that. But you know what? I'm being real. And I don't stand for injustice. If something's wrong, something's wrong. And I'm going to speak up for it. And Irma Glover didn't like that. She wanted me to take a plea, bow down, and go down and just take it. So, anyways, back to this arrest that happened. So they beat Ricky in jail, and they sit there and they beat him in jail and everything. I found that out, so I'm immediately calling the jail, talking about how he needs his 8 different medications. I got his mom calling there, saying that he needs the same thing medications. He's not even supposed to be there. We're getting him out. I get the money. I go bail him out, and we get him out of jail. He comes out of the jail. Wherein, do I have those clothes near me? But they're not near me. But I would show you the clothes. But I'll show you that in the next video. I'm sorry, but he comes to me wearing this blue see-through smock. okay, with nothing on underneath, just some janky old loose underwear, a smock, not wearing what he wore in jail. Went to jail, and his clothes just sitting there, shredded up by a knife in the bag, just in a bag, holding him, walking out of jail with a bag, and limping, can't move. He gets in the car, we go straight to the emergency room. He can't use the bathroom for 3 days. His kidneys are messed up. His back is messed up. He has bruises all over his body. He has cut marks all over him. He has infections. He's hard to get skin infection from the jail. Everything going on. Okay, so I immediately start calling the sheriff, the supervisor for the Officer Hill, who arrested us that night and arrested him and charged him with battery against me, and saying, dude, I'm not pressing charges, so you can say from now you don't have a case because I'm not pressing charges. I was never beat. He was never beat. Nothing. That's not going on. And this is days going on. We went to the NAACP and showed them what was going on and how he got beat. Like 2 days after he got out of there, and they told us to come back on the 16th to have another meeting and remind you. Like I said a little earlier, maybe a while back, but I finally had my first meeting with Terrence Bradley that they would not let me have on the 16th. Finally had it on the 16th. I never got to meet him, and I was expecting to meet this man and finally get to tell my story and show my evidence against Irma Glover and what she's been doing, and finally get her exposed and for her to stop this cruel and malicious prosecution she's doing against me. And I thought I was gonna have my chance, but I get there. We get there, and we talk to NAACP. We tell them everything going on, and I forgot to tell you about that meeting, by the way, that happened with Terrence Bradley. I get there, and Terrence Bradley is once again in court, won't speak to me again, as an excuse every time. Like, and I caught him one time on that, by the way, when I told him, okay, you're in court. I'm about to go to the judicial qualifications, not judicial qualifications, the state bar. If you don't return my phone call, and all of a sudden he wasn't in court. So I know that's a lie too. So I caught him on that, but he was always in court, and he had his Nathan Wade partner who owns the law firm come out and meet me. Nathan Wade is also the original judge who was in Marietta Municipal Court that transferred my case over to Irma Glover. So you don't need to tell me it's all tied together. You see the puzzle putting together. I go there, I meet with him. He's like, oh, Terrence, can't see you. Just give me your evidence, and I'll, because I did all my work then. I did all my gathering of evidence. We did all of our motions and everything. So I finally got it. He asked for it. I got it. I gave it to him. He took it. Said I was going to see him later, and he'll get back to me, and took it. Did not know that I made 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 copies of that stuff. Just like I have everything. So every time they try to arrest me or take my evidence, I got it, or I get more. So they keep doing that. It's not working. So I kept that. I had that. They didn't call me back, whatever. So that same day, on September 16th, when I met Terrence Bradley, assistant Nathan Wade, who wouldn't let me meet Terrence Bradley, we chilled for a couple hours because that evening we had to meet with the NAACP. Because after meeting with them days before, they told us to come back that same day, the same 16th. So we came back. We showed them everything. We told them the story. We showed them the pictures. We showed them we told them about Irma Glover stuff. We told them about the court stuff. In the work comp, that case we were going through at the time, the battle. It was just so much I understand at the time. And they said that they were going to come to court with us, and they were going to, fight and everything, and, help us out, whatever. So that evening, we go home, and I get arrested. I get a knock on my front door. Okay, then remember, mind you, this is 5 days after anything has happened, after all this incidents happened, and they've charged Ricky with battery against me. We've called the police, complained to them, complained to the NAACP, done all this complaining and all this, trying to exercise our voice, ask for an answer as to what's going on. 5 days later, I get... Oh, here's a ticket, by the way, that they have for Ricky. This is relevant right here. It was on September 11th they charged him and set his court date for October 10th. All right, now, that was September 11th they arrested him, right? Now, they tried to say they arrested me on September 11th, too, on other court documents, and tried to save face and all that. Now, they arrested me on, I don't know if you can see, let me find it first so I can zoom in on it. Warrant date. 9/16. They arrested me 5 days after this incident. And you know what they did? They came back and charged me with battery against Ricky and blamed me for all the cutting, the beating, the kneeing, and everything that they said that they did in jail. They said I did. Mind you, the police officer, I had already been to the police station and picked up a copy of the police report, and he had already done a pre-description of what happened and whatever. None of that did he say that I beat him so bad his clothes were ripped. No, the hospital didn't say his clothes were ripped. Nobody said it was a beating. So why now, after he gets out of jail and I get arrested, that it's beating? You see the point here? You see the point here. You see the corruption here. So I get arrested for that. 9/16, whatever. And my court date is. You see, I want to point this out too. This is very important because Irma Glover did something on another thing where she took away a court date and a bond from me, and it's very evil. But I'm going to show you that I got arrested on September 16th for that. That was my first false imprisonment with that. And here's the arrest record. It especially says 9/16 up there in the date, the time, and everything. And here it is. Right here you can see the charge was battery, a misdemeanor. The judge was Garland, whatever, or more. I'm sorry. And the bond was set at $1,000, and I had a court date set for October 24th. Now, this court set is October 24th. A minute ago, I just showed you for the same incident now that they arrested 5 days later. Now, Ricky has a court date for October 10th. Mine's on October 24th. Trying to throw us off and start confusion now, okay? So the NAACP sees this. We take it back to them. They're like, okay, we're gonna come to both court dates, and we're gonna be there to support you guys, and da 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 da. So what's the first one? The first one is October 10th. That's Ricky's court date. Mine's not until the 24th. So we can't be a part of each other. Now, remind you, they're saying we beat each other. We're both supposedly victims and both batteries in a case against each other, and we're caregivers for each other. So we can't be apart. So they're saying we can't be together. There's a bond order in place saying that we cannot speak, we cannot talk. So they call Rico and tell him, hey, tell David to come up here and tell him to come up here and sign this consent to modify bond order, and we'll let you guys be together because we understand, and we'll change your court date and all this. So I go up there, and here we go. I'm about to show my proof. I go up there and I bring them this piece of paper right here where it says my court date is set for October 24th. Let's see. David Whale. Oh, Whale. You saw a whale on that? One thing I meant to tell you. When I was arrested falsely for this beating that I supposedly did to Ricky Johnson, they booked my name under David Whale. They took the S off of my name so it would not interrupt the warrant that Irma Glover had other plans for to ruin my life with. They left it off there so it would not interfere with that. And nobody could find me. But since Lewis remembered everything that happened with James Bond and all the sketch stuff that Irma Glover was doing and all the lying that she lied 4 times to him and 3 times and all this, he bailed me out anyways and knew that, that was fake. That was fake, and he knew the situation. So he got that. So I went there and I was, getting this situated October 24th so I could get this date changed to Ricky's date on October 10th. Because at that point, the NAACP was coming to both court dates. All right, so they tell Ricky, David has to come up here and sign a consent to modify the bond order. And that's the only way you guys can be together. And we'll change his court date and all that. So I go there. I'm already a little sketched thinking, okay, here it goes. Irma Glover, has this warrant out for my arrest. I don't know if this is a trap. This is a setup. They're trying to get me in the office, whatever. So I'm going to go there and take care of it because Terrence Bradley still hasn't talked to me. He won't talk to me. He won't tell me my warrant's good. I don't know what's going on. So I go to the office on October 2nd. October 2nd now, all right? This is October 2nd. Fake warrant supposedly happened back in when she was saying all that back in months ago. I got arrested since then. I bailed out, so that didn't happen. Now, October 2nd, when they told me to come and sign this bond to let us be together, I asked them, is Irma Glover's warrant still valid and it is still in the system? Because my lawyer has not spoken to me and he's acting like he has an order not to talk to me. Now tell me, is my warrant valid or is it not? Because I'm not going to sit there and put myself in danger and go to court for you guys to play a game on me and arrest me and play games. I know exactly how Irma Glover works at this point, and I'm not dealing with her abuse anymore. No, sir, you're fine. You're good. And you know what? As proof, sir, we're going to give you a whole new court date. So they changed it on this second day right here of October. I signed right there in the clerk's office, as you see at the bottom of the page, for my court date to be changed to October 10th. My new court date was now changed from October 24th to October 10th. Okay? So now Ricky and I are both going to be in court on October 10th together. Okay? Great. Not only great, I asked you again, did Irma Glover take care of this warrant that she has out? Yes, sir, you're good to go. I leave out. On the way in, I have a conversation with Officer Riley at the bottom, and he's talking about some school bus laws changing now. If you pass it the first time, it's a $300 offense, and if you pass it again, it goes up in doubles and this and that. All this other conversation. So I'm talking to him on the way in. I also, when I'm on the way out, after I got my, I'm all relaxed thinking, okay, I'm not good. They gave me a new court date, so I can't have a warrant out for my arrest because this is filed in the state court clerk's office. I came to them. They would have to arrest me. So I think I'm good. I'm walking on the way out, and I have a conversation with Officer Riley, and we're joking again. Talking about, he says, by the way, tell your buddies about that school bus law because you don't want to get messed up because the first time you do it, it's like $500 or whatever, $200 some dollars, and the second time you do it, it goes up triple or double. And I was like, okay, thank you, I'll let them know, and go out, and that's just fine. I go. They call Ricky. No, Ricky calls them the next day, and these are going to be revealed in some recordings later on. They called Ricky and told him that I got there too late that day, so they were not able to submit it before the judge. So he still needed to come by and get a signature from himself to sign it. So he did that. He went up there, and worst mistake that Cobb County Solicitor's Office could have made. Because Georgia, I'm going to let everyone know that Georgia is a one-party consent state, and that regards conversation. So if you are the person involved in that conversation, you can record it. So Ricky Johnson was there having a conversation with Adam Abate, Jennifer Moore, John Bunder, and a few other people there that were in the office that I wasn't there, but my name was being brought up, and they basically were there, and it's very, very nasty. You'll hear about how that went. That's in a whole other video I'll get into tomorrow with the actual recording, and we're gonna break it down and go into it deep like I did this 8 minute and 12 minute video, 12-second video. But we'll go into that. But let's see, where was I as far as? Okay, yes, the October 10th. So October 10th, they say that's my new court date. We're fine. So from October 2nd, that's when I met them in the office and tell me I was good. I'm just, relaxing. We're trying to be, still hiding from the police because at this point they had been stalking outside of our house, my mom's house. They were just sitting there waiting to arrest us. So we ran away actually and had to go to a, secret housing and live with other people and just all this crazy stuff to hide. And we were there for 7 days. 7 days we were waiting. And the court date came around. That was October 10th. So we were there in court, and the NAACP came, and it worked out because they saw, okay, both of the court dates happened. So October 24th is no longer a day. We get there. Wow. We get there, and NAACP is there, and Ricky's there. This lawyer that they had hired, who did not do much for my case, who actually turned out to be, I'm not going to say too much, but did not turn out to be a great person in terms of, I just don't want to say too much about that. We'll get into that in another video. But she we were there, and we were standing there next to my lawyer, and standing there next to my lawyer, NAACP to my left, Ricky over here. They call my name like the third person up, and we already know that's weird right there in the first place. And that they do call me the third person up. It's not Irma Glover's courtroom. It's another judge because Irma Glover still is kind of has this weird like probation just going on like or no, not probation, but that's not happening yet. We're there, and Irma Glover is just still has the warrant just dangling in the air, and the lawyer won't talk to me or anything, and I can't get to talk to him. So anyways, we're there, and I get up there, I walk up, and Chris Lanning says, first thing he says to me, Mr. Wells, put your hands behind your back. You're under arrest for failure to appear. What? Failure to appear? For what? Looks like you got an outstanding warrant from August 12th. Signed by Irma B. Glover. August 12th? I have a warrant, sir, for August 12th. I was just in your office on October 2nd asking about that. You gave me a new court set and confirming that it was okay. I was arrested on 9/16 after August, and I was bailed out. So how is this warrant not holding me in jail? If I have a warrant I'm trying to run. And I'm trying to run, once again, why would I come to you on October 2nd and get a new court date? Okay, it was a plan. Irma Glover had a plan to tie everything together. I'm going to show you more how she had a plan. So this is the day that I got arrested. That's the warrant. This is the warrant that has supposedly happened. I missed court on the 12th day of August. Yeah, whatever. We know about that day. And remind you again, as proof right here for you to see right here, she wants to say, I missed court on August 12th. There is no court record that had a court date with them at all. And I can fully rest on that. There is no court date scheduled. And I had no court date. I was in the emergency room on 8/12. She was calling my phone, Margie Rogers, saying I need to be at court right then and there because she knew I was in the hospital. Okay? That's what happened there. So how you can have a warrant that is valid for this right here, and you got a doctor's note telling you not to be in the hospital, not to be in court? Irma, you made a personal call there. So here is the arrest booking sheet that I got, and here is where things get evil right here with Irma and her spitefulness. As you can see right here, this is the booking date. The arrest was 10/10. Resting location. Let me see if it says it on there. Oh, it says it on this one. I'm sorry. On this one it says, on the same 10/10, it says arresting. There it is. Location of arrest. Right there. Location of arrest. It said 2D Thomas State Court. Said I was in court. Now remember, I was in court on October 10th and got arrested for this failure to appear from this marijuana charge. Okay, whatever. So this is the booking sheet. That marijuana charge they weren't going to win, by the way. That I was ready to fight. That I'm going to keep saying that. And here's the booking sheet. And the evilness and the very spitefulness of why I'm going to get Irma back for everything she did. And she's not going to... I'm not the only one she's done this to, and other people are going to be set free because of this, and they're going to be justified, and she needs to lose everything she has, and I will not stop until that happens. I will not stop until that happens. That she loses everything she has, and everyone that she has done wrong is done right, and they go look back at everything she did and justify it. Because you're not going to sit there and use people as a way to line your pockets. And people's freedom, you're going to take it away. When I was in there, I saw so many people lose their jobs. Families turn their back on them. So many things. Lose relationships, everything. Just because this court system that wants to come in and use us like little meal tickets and use our lives and petty laws to put us in jail that you all rely on. You all rely on us. And that is what it boils down to. And you want to put us in jail for little petty things like this, and have little, and I got to deal with judges that I know who are taking the extra mile and want to even more squish me in the ground. We know we are not going to take this as people. So anyways, in this right here, Irma Glover has set ignorantly, it says right here, State Glover, no bond, no court date. No bond and no court date. You tell me what I did to get no bond and no court date. So I get to the jail. Well, I go back behind the courthouse right away when they arrest me, and the prosecutor's like, getting little snares at me or whatever. So, but they're booking me and everything. They book all my medications, my asthma stuff and everything that I need that I have to have every day. And I was also, did I forget to tell you, that was October 10th. September 16th, I was also arrested falsely. The first time, I didn't even get booked and everything there. They had me in and out. They got my medication the first time. I pick up my medication from the health department right across the street at County Services Road at the Cobb County Adult Detention Center. It's right across the street. So I was getting my medication from there. So here I am, going to jail. They know my medications. I found out while I was in court with while I was in jail, I get a first appearance the next morning, and that's when everybody gets read their charges and their court date and their bond. You got people in there, I'm not saying names, so people in there for armed robbery, burglary, armed this and that, aggravated this and that, getting court dates and getting bonds, and that's just normal. You're a person. You are not God, Irma Glover, or anyone else out there who thinks they are, or a judge who thinks they have power. You're not God. And you think you might have power now on this earth in this moment, but this is temporary. This is not our home. So whatever you do, God has approval for it, and he knows we're going to make it through it, and you are going to pay for it later. So, and that goes to anyone trying to do anyone wrong. And anything that you conjure up or try to speak upon someone is going to come back on you in the end. Because our souls do not belong to you or anyone else on this earth but Jesus Christ. Mine does, and that's all I can speak for that. So, anyways, so here I am in there, no court date, no bond. And while I was in jail, that's another video too, but this photo basically goes into, it's a very extensive report. It took them a long time to release to me, and it basically has all my proof of them denying all my medications. They told me that my Xanax that was prescribed from my doctor, my inhalers, my every medicine that I needed to live that was prescribed by a doctor was illegal. Illegal in the jail. How is asthma medicine illegal? Mind you, I was put into, when I got there, they made me strip butt naked and put me in this room where I was just stripped naked and put into the turtle suit and left there. Why am I in there? What's going on here? I'm not suicidal. I didn't say anything. I'm calm. And I'm just in court. I'm just taking it like, okay, wow, this is crazy. In there, staying there for 3 days, whatever. The guy sees me the next morning. He's like, why are you in here? You are stable. You're fine. What's going on here? He's like, I don't know. And every doctor that sees me while I'm in there is like, why are you in here? You need to get out of here. You're deteriorating. You are seriously having some really bad health issues. And one of the nurses had tried to take my blood and do some blood work, and she injected me with a needle, and my blood squirted all over the emergency room, all over the infirmary floor. And she used the same gauze that she tried to mop up the floor, put it on my arm. I had to stop her. And tell her, are you serious? Do you think you're going to do that? Really? And I get put in my room and whatever. We're in there. These are just little things that happen in the infirmary. And then that big old file right here, I don't want to get into because it's a lot in there. And they actually took me off of all my medications. I don't think I even told you the story about how, I think I did tell you about how I was in court that morning. I had first appearance there, telling about all the charges and everything. And Irma Glover sent a special note saying that don't set him a court date and no court bond. And don't set bond. So that was that. So also I had received another special note in here that I was some sort of drug addict or whatever, some kind of thing, and I need to be under special watch at the prison. mind you, all my evaluations and all the doctors I'm in treat me regularly, and they see that if I'm in that, I'm going to be. And we all know I sing and perform and very active in this. And so I was a heavy drug addict. It would very much show. But anyways, she tried to say that and put me on. All right, she took me off of the asthma medication, the anxiety medication, all these other medications that it's a list. And said that they're all legal, that were not illegal. And the jail put me on 5 Bolibriums a day. And said that I was in there with the heroin, the cocaine, the crack addicts, and everything. That's where I need to be. And detox with them and on the same regimen. Her doing that and them doing that to me sent me into stage 1 kidney failure. And it destroyed my kidneys. And that's why I feel so sick now. And it's so hard for me to have energy now. I'm still trying to recover through that. And it's drinking water. I don't know what I gotta do. But it's 5 Bolibriums every day for 10 days that I was in there. 10 days I spent in there with no court date, no bond. And I finally met my lawyer on like October 14th. He came and saw me in jail. And I thought he was someone else. And he came and saw me. And he said, I don't want to hear anything that you have to say about the judge, you knowing her. I don't want you just need to get out of here, get there on time served, and or get you out. And we'll go into more of that detail on a different video about how his misconduct. And lawyers weren't really anything in this case, and they really were a hindrance instead of a help. And I don't want to hear anything about the plea. We're going to get you a time served, and I actually have it right here. The same jail sheet right here. It says time served right down there. And no court date, no bond. I got out, release date, 10/20. No time served. 10 days after I was there, I got on my knees one Sunday night and was just praying to God that I can't take anymore. I'm dying here. Like, I just can't. Like, there's people in here I want to help. I got to get out there and tell my story. And you give me an opportunity to get her back and expose this. And there's some of the people who can't afford certain things to resources or whatever, or don't know certain things to do to get their help. And I want to help them. So I need to get out of here. And I kid you not, I fell asleep at like midnight. And I came up like... it felt like it was 10 minutes, but 4 hours later, at 4 o'clock in the morning, I get a little ding buzzer, and I have a court date. They take me to jail. It's a special hearing. Irma is the only one in there with her people, and I'm in a little holding cell behind the jail, just sitting there waiting. I'm like, finally, this is finally getting out. And while I'm in there, and I just wanted to make a little point too, because I know the James Bond stuff seemed a little unbelievable, like I might have been making it up or whatever, and it seems a little unbelievable. But this warrant, right? This motion to set aside the bench warrant. This is how my attorney ultimately got me out of jail after the 10 days, and finally listened to me, I guess, and got me a court date. He said right here, and number 2. It said, defendant did appear in court on July 24th, 2014, and signed an on-call notice for the case number. And he said my case number. And that was the day that Irma Cover called. Actually, after he did this warrant, he had to speak to Lewis with Bell Bondsman, James Bond bonding, to verify all this information, to figure out what was going on in this process to get me out of jail. So after he spoke to him, he verified everything. So this is not from me. This is from my lawyer and putting in his motion. Defendant did not appear in court on July 24th. Did appear, and signed the on-call notice for his slip. Did sign the on-call notice, and please see attached. And I attached he had the attached form, and it also says defendant was hospitalized on August 13th due to severe illness and was ordered by his doctor to obtain from schoolwork in court, or for a period of up to 3 days. That was August 13th, so 13, 14, 15, 16. Nothing happened in those days. So she could have waited till a couple of days to get me in court after the 16th, but she didn't. So she went ahead and made a call right then and there while I was in the emergency room, like they said. But anyway, she made that call. That's proof right there. She's made her call. I'm just going to do it anyways. He's in the hospital. I'm going to do it. Knowing that I couldn't get to court. Forced it. The only time she could get me on the face of appear when I was down and out in court because of her in the hospital, throwing up and having anxiety attacks and stomach bloated in the middle of the night and just going. Nobody knew any of this was going on. None of this was going on. While I was in with a bunch of other bull from people and people talking about me and about what they think they know about me and what they thought they know what was going on, and nobody wanted to ask me anything, so they could just stay where they are with that. And I'm dealing with obviously this and other things, so I'm finally happy I'm getting to speak and say what I need to say about this. And Irma Glover has pushed me to the point where she tried to take my voice away, and now that I got it back, nobody will take it from me ever again. Because there are some people in the past who I allowed them to and tried to, but grace of God, that's not happening. So back to this. So defendant, he said that she said it was August 13th, and remember what I told you. She got caught in her own lie. They caught her in her own lie. Irma, you got caught in your own lie. So I hope you're watching this video, and I'm showing you right now. You said I missed court on August 12th. The motion to get me out of jail says you said I missed court on July 24th. Like I said, James Bond said that you lied about. Also, it says you said I missed court on August 13th. I have notes right there. It says I was in hospital August 13th. You weren't even smart enough to settle on August 13th. You settled on August 12th. 12th. Another day that I was in hospital. The day before and after. You did that on purpose. The doctor said I could have 3 days to recover and I could possibly go to court. You made a call in between that out of a doctor. You are not a doctor. You do not make that call. I'm sorry, I got a little heated there. But, so anyways, we get to court, and here we are back in this, and this is where the craziness happens. We get there, and we're back there behind the, I'm there back there behind there. This is the second time I meet my lawyer. He's there, and he's like, all right, so all we're going to do is just time serve, like I just showed you. They had the jail sheet right here. They released me to I went to the courthouse, and that was me right there on 1010. It said time served, time served. It was done. That was the deal. You don't spend any more time. I spent 10 days in jail for a failure to appear that was fake. It was wrong. Irma Glover knew it was wrong, and still that was not enough for her. And this is the kind of woman we're dealing with. She is that evil. What else has she done to people that she used to prosecute juveniles? Okay, need I say more? So we get there and we get to court, and they're working out this deal, and they say, okay, Davis, it's time served, so all you gotta do is just talk about just take this deal, time served, you're good to go. That's it. That's all she wants. So I'm there. All right, that's fine. Sitting there waiting back there to sign my plea behind behind the jail back there. Terrence Bailey busts in and says, Melissa Tatum is out there, and she says that's not enough. Melissa Tatum? You mean the girl that I filed a complaint on June 10th that William Perdue took her off and put Adam Abate on and took her off, and now she's back on because she was talking about my faith and how that doesn't matter and God doesn't matter in the courtroom. And I witnessed her call Gwinnett County where her other family works, and her nephew just got her niece just got her niece off for a DUI, and she told them she got tired of having to make up for her nieces and nephew and watch out for them when they get in trouble. Yeah, I witnessed that too and got that recording too, Melissa. And that woman is there in the court saying it's not enough. So we're there, and I'm like, okay, what do they want? What do they want? They want you to take a charge of disorderly conduct. Disorderly conduct? So what about the marijuana charge that we're fighting? That's gone. That doesn't exist anymore. I'm like, so they admitted they lost. No, they just said it's amended to disorderly conduct. That's what they're going to do. They're going to amend it to disorderly conduct, give you time served, and you're done. Okay, so they're going to amend it to disorderly conduct. So this marijuana is not going to pop up anywhere. And I asked a question, how does marijuana, this drug charge, relate to disorderly conduct? This makes no sense. You were guilty the whole time, and you're finally admitting after I spent 10 days in jail, almost died, and I'm not even talking about everything that happened in jail. I'm not going to disclose that in the video. It's a lot that happened that was really traumatic. And you're gonna do all that and still want more. So they wanted that. They wanted the time served. They wanted the plea of disorderly conduct. So I took that. That's fine. Go back there one more time. They come back. This time they're sent back for guess who? Guess who? Irma Glover. Irma Glover comes back and says to Terrence Bradley to tell me, that's not enough. What Melissa wants, what they want, that's not enough. The time server is not enough. That's not enough. I want him to be on supervised. I want him to be on supervised probation. Probation. For a year. Probation for a year. And what else did she ask for? Probation for a year. Let me see what else she asked for. For a drug and alcohol evaluation. And there's one other thing she had asked for here. Oh, and then so the probation. And the best part of all, she wanted me to stand in front of everybody in the courtroom and give her a public apology for any, quote, any undue stress that I caused her during the process of my trial. Are you serious? You want to get petty like that, Irma Glover, and make me apologize to you? I did it, and I took everything I could to do it, and I did it. And I had to get out of jail because I was dying, I was sick, I was getting bad. I had to get out of there. I took it, and here's the paperwork, actually, if you want to see it. Where they just scratched my paperwork, look at all crazy right here. They scratched out right here with violation of Georgia Controlled Substance Act. They scratched it out and put right here, disorderly conduct on 10, and that was done on 10, what is it right here? 10/20 it says that. But this is the same paper we had for court the whole time, where it says right here on 5/1, on May 1st, like I said, he pled not guilty. So this is the same one they held on to. The same one they held on to. They crossed out all these little things, and you know, the probation, it wasn't too bad. I was so mad that I had to be on it, but Terrence Bradley was like, Irma, you said you didn't need all that. Like, it was going to be okay. Like, he promised me it was going to be okay. Like, all you needed was just that little bit, and he was going to be done. Well, Mr. Wells, Mr. Irma now. Mr. Wells, have you turned in any other evaluations or any of your treatment that you say you're in? I'm like, yes, I gave one to Melissa Tatum back in April. I gave one to April. And she took it. And what's that about? Oh, well, in that case, just turn it in on your first probation meeting and everything's done and closed. And I don't want to see you here again, Mr. Wells. Played it up like she was done with me and was ready to be finished and done. No, again with her evil games and her mind games and trying to kill me. Okay, so there she goes. I go off. My probation officer, I meet the next day. Actually, that day, I get out of jail. I go meet with her right then. And that date, this right here, I meet with them. Her name is Carla Barrows. I didn't meet with her that day. I met with her assistant to set it up. My date is set for December 15th. Now I got this plea on October 10th, and December 15th, right here, I get set my first probation meeting with Carla Barrows. Now there's a special note written here, another of these special notes that says December 21st. Now you do the math. December 15th to December 21st. They want everything done and completed by. The probation officer was like, this is not my doing. I did not write this. I don't know who did this, but, I have that on recording too. So, Irma Glover, you want to deny that? Just wait for the next couple of days. I got these recordings. I'm sorry. It might come off I'm seeming arrogant or whatever, but I am so hurt. And when you almost lose your life because of someone's neglect or ignorance, for no reason, whatever reason, you want to lose someone's life, I got every right to be mad and speak up in every way. You got people out here losing their life every day for these stupid people out here and with their injustices and killing people. I'm going to say what I got to say. Anyway, so she's like, I don't know who did this and made it do a few days later. I'm going to change it out. She changes it right here on December 15th. Okay? She changes it. It gives my first court slip. On this date, right here, on December 15th, she changed it to my next date was January 6th to make sure everything was done. I turned in. I'm like, okay, now, why do I need to come in again? And this note that I just gave you, that Irma Glover said I needed to give you my first probation meeting, I give it to you, it's dropped. And It should be dropped. I give it to her. Well, this is nothing like I needed. I don't know why she told you that. This is nothing like I needed. This is way more than what I need. So that was not true that she told you that. I'm sorry she did. I'm like, if she gets again lying to me, trying to wear me out, and it's not gonna work because my power comes from Jesus Christ, and I don't know where Irma Glover's comes from, but it's obviously not the same thing. And I'm not gonna lose my power and endurance because it all comes from Him, and He's gonna keep me going through this process. So she thought she was gonna wear me out and whatever, but good luck on that. That's not gonna work with her or anyone. So I go and have 4 evaluations done. Mind you, she asked for 1, the one that was already done. So I went and get 4 new ones done, just so I know this woman is going to go down when I'm done. So I want to slay her extra in the ground. So I get 4 evaluations done. Every single one of them say, Mr. Wells is fine, Mr. Wells is fine, Mr. Wells is fine. No treatment needed, no treatment needed, no treatment needed. All he needs to do is continue what he's doing with his own health care, and that's it. You need to leave him alone. I give that in, I turn that in, I turn that in, and Irma Glover says that's not enough. Gets another note from probation, said that's not enough. Irma Glover wants more. Irma Glover wants more. Irma Glover wants more. Where does she have the time to worry about all these cases and me, who I'm not even a high-profile criminal doing anything? This is some bullying right now. This is some straight-up bullying. And so it was my next appointment was set for the 6th. So I came in and I brought this 6 right here. I came in on my next hearing. Let's see if I can see this right here. Right here. It went from up there, up top. You see how it goes? I guess it goes like this right here. This was the first meeting right here, 12:15. They reset it to 12:06. So down here, down here is the 1/6 the next meeting. On this day, I turned in all those evaluations, turned in anything that Irma might need, everything. What is it on the? Oh, yeah. And, by the way, before this date right here, I had sent in 3 facts and to them, and they got my evaluation. I came by and dropped them off. I forgot to mention all that. And they got my evaluation. So this was just my follow-up date to make sure that they have received everything, which they did. When I get there, Irma Glover said it's still not enough and has already set a revocation hearing for my probation for March 4th. For what? I've done everything you wanted to 10 times over, Irma Glover. So what do you want from me? What do you want from me? It says it for 3/4. That was on 1/6. I got my doctors involved and got all my evaluation. Came back again. Okay? Where's this little paper at? This is where I wanted to show you right here. The day I left and before I had gotten there on this 6 right here. This is a motion from the probation team and Irma Glover. Irma Glover, right here, on the 6th, and on the 7th, Irma Glover signed it right here. After these probation letters have been sent, and they got them, said it wasn't enough, and filed a petition to have a hearing for March 4th, because I was because she wanted to revoke my probation. For no reason. So, that gets put on hold. Because I go here and come back in on the 8th, which that was the 6th, all that was going down. And I come back here on, let's see if I can get this straight for y'all. Down here. I come back on the 8th, which up here is a revocation hearing. See? From the 6th. If you go over that way, you see that the revocation hearing is right here. And let's see if I got where's the charger at? And let me see. One more second. Alright. So you see right here, there was 1/6, the revocation hearing was set. 1/6, I came back on 1/8 before the revocation hearing. 1 set, they took it back. They took it back because I said I can't take this anymore. Irma Glover threw out everything that had to do with this marijuana case that we were fighting and only told this probation officer that All you need to worry about is finding information about his disorderly conduct charge. Now, you know, I just told you I was arrested in court on October 10th, and I was forced to take that disorderly conduct plea. So now you put me on probation with a probation officer who's supposed to monitor me for disorderly conduct. Because remember, marijuana charge doesn't exist anymore. It got amended. So now it's disorderly conduct. What did I do that was disorderly? What can I give to a probation officer that says, I'm not disorderly anymore, I've gotten treatment for being disorderly when I never was disorderly? My treatment team still had me and was still giving notes saying he's good. They took it back after the 8th. Irma Glover had no choice but to take it back. And I had a new court date set for 3/17. So that was that. So I went up to, that was the beginning of January. And I went to, let's see here. Let me see if I can get, where's the calendar at? Let me see. I'm just trying to get a date right here for my face. Alright, so January. I'm sorry for that, all this delay right now. So January 20. Alright, so January 16th, which is a which is another very deep recording you're gonna hear tomorrow. I have of Andrea Nicholson going to I went to on January 16th. I called again to clear this unsure probation. Like, this is so sketch, and like Irma's playing games. And I know she is. I didn't know what's going on, and all her team knows she is. So I go up there I called January 16th and say I'm coming up there to get a copy of my file, which I already have, but I wanted to get a copy of what they had and everything. So I went up there on January 16th, and I called Andrea Nicholson and asked her about the probation, and she said we could probably talk about it when we get there. And I said I was going to be there within 30 minutes to get the copy of the file. It was 4:30, and she said, okay, we'll be closed at 5 o'clock. And I guess she didn't expect me to be able to make it to the Cobb County Meredith Square in 30 minutes. And I did, made it there. When I got down there now, Andrea Nicholson's in the office shredding paperwork in my file. Ricky Johnson's right there watching everything. I immediately start recording and just start talking to her and whatever. And she starts just, making excuses and how she doesn't want to give up certain stuff. But she does. She ends up giving me everything. And you will hear all the details in that recording later on this week in the other videos of her. And she basically says, looks at all the paperwork I have, and I'm showing her, like, it doesn't make sense. It's all pointing back to Irma Glover and her personal discretion. She's going against a probation officer at this point, everyone. So Andrea Nicholson runs down to probation and talks to probation. Probation said he is good, he is fine, he has completed everything. Like, he is good to go. I'm not opposed to closing it. That's probation. He was never supposed to be here in the first place. They had gotten to the point that Irma was hiding the other case. They got the point that she was up to something. So they understood it. They went to Andrea, came back and was like, I talked to Carla. She said it's good. You should be able to drop it. I'm just gonna go talk to Irma right now, and I should call you Monday, and you should be good. And Ricky was like, are we gonna have to have a court date, to come in and close this out? Say, oh no court date. I'm just gonna type up an order and just send it out, and you guys are good to go. I got all that on recording, so no denying that, y'all. So she does that, and that was January 16th, 2015 of this year. And that was a Friday. And they said they're going to call me back on the 19th, that Monday. Now, I get a letter in the mail that was stamped and signed on January 20th. Okay? Now remember, this is the same form that I just showed you that was signed also on July 6th and July 7th, when the other probation stuff was going on, by Irma Glover, that she put on hold because it was pretty obvious that everything was done. It went ahead from the June 6th and 7th. Somebody went ahead and put it through. Someone went and put it through on January 20th and filed me to violate probation. Okay, so there we are. I get this letter, and I have a good lawyer. I had a lawyer at the time, and we were asking questions, and some sketch stuff started happening. Like nobody was my lawyer talked to Carla Barrows, the probation officer, to ask her about this letter. Like, he did all his stuff. Like, why is he being violated? Like, what's going on here? And she was so apologetic. And I want to also appreciate Carla Barrows. She's an amazing probation officer. She listens. She's actually there, one of the few in the system there to help you get better after you go through this terrible system. She's one of the few there to help you get back on your feet and do right things that the system has said they're there for. But we didn't have much interaction, but just I could tell that's the person she was. But after this happened, she had no answer. Like, what is this? Like, what is this right here? Next thing we know, we get another letter in the mail, a petition requesting dismissal of revocation from Carla Barrows, the probation officer. Why would she submit a form to revoke my probation, and then days later on February 4th, file one? I'm gonna read to you what it says. Now comes the undersigned Carla Barrows and respectfully states that this honorable court at the revocation hearing set for the 4th day of March, the defendant stated that the defendant failed to be evaluated and treated as ordered. Whereas State of Georgia praised that the revocation hearing and petition to be dismissed for the following reasons. They want to dismiss it now for these reasons. The petition, I'm going to let you see it in bold first. It says, the petition was submitted in error. Defendant has completed an alcohol and evaluation as ordered. So why is Irma filing probation violations without the probation officer? Why would she go back and contradict herself if she didn't do it? Irma needs to stop. So that kind of just went up in the air, and that was, that's kind of got filed that, probation was not going to be revoked because obviously probation officer herself is saying I'm done, and all eyes are pointing on Irma Glover. All eyes. So we're just sitting there, and this other battery case that I'm talking about that they were beating and charged Ricky, that's still going on, and that's totally separate. And at this time, Irma Glover and other judges are tying all my court dates together. So I'll be in court one day here, and then 2 days off and be in court, or 1 day off, be here, or the next day, vice versa, whatever, I'll be in court. And I was getting worn out. And we're still going through a workman's comp settlement, and it was getting to a point where the state realized that they were liable for all some of this stuff going on with the trauma that happened at Ricky's job and everything. So they decided to wipe their hands clean and settle the case out and just get rid of it and close that and protect themselves in other ways too, for protection. But it's basically all pointing to them now. And that was done, that was said, and that they washed their hands of that situation. And we were just kind of up in the air, and they were bringing me into court. They brought me into court 4 times now. My name was not on the scoreboard. I did not have the court date scheduled. I had an attorney at the time, and we were just running around looking like chickens with our head cut off, looking for my court date. And they're just, once again, desperately trying to find a fade to appear and get me to violate it. And it's just like, we're not going down like that. So we're searching around, looking for it everywhere. And can't get a court date. Just can't get a court date. We get a court date, we go there, and they give me little flimsy slips. They're like, oh, come in next time. We go in next time. And it's nothing. It's nothing. They say I have no charges. All the charges were taken back, and he was never charged in the first place and all this. But didn't you see right here, it says battery misdemeanor? When I bailed out of jail on 9/16 for this supposed battery incident, I was charged with battery, right? So anyways, here's what gets another detail. They took that battery charge away from me this whole time. And the day after that, Ricky's case settled with the state, and they settled everything and made everything right on their end. Cobb County and Irma Glover's court and everything, and all the Cobb County judges, they came together and charged me that same battery case. They recharged me. They gave me a court date finally and charged me with five new charges. 5 new charges, and said they wanted to put me in jail. For what? What happened from there to there? I gotta go in jail now. It's the same battery incident you've been holding out since October, and now all of a sudden now, after his case settles, you want to put me in jail and charge me with family violence battery, simple battery, insulting and provoking, simple battery, physical harm, and another charge of disorderly conduct. That's Irma Glover right there all day. Just to interrupt my other one that she had that was illegal disorderly conduct. So we got a good lawyer on that, and Nicole, you were amazing, and hope you see this. You really helped us. You saved my life, and she, Dr. Golightly is amazing too. Saved my life, and as well as Ricky's, and he wrote another letter to the court saying that he's under treatment. He doesn't need anything. He's good. He's good. This is all his stress is coming from you all, and it's not going to subside. I'm not going to stop treating him until his symptoms subside. And his symptoms won't subside until he is done with this stuff. And they've been there for me, and they helped me and everything. And we're kind of now at the point where Nicole, the lawyer, submitted that letter, and the lawyer we had before was like, whatever. But she got it done. She got the job done on the first court date we came to court, and they had no excuse to do the whole, we have no court date here. They had it done. She showed them the letter. They dismissed all the charges, and there's a lot more that happened in between there. We're gonna break it down in the videos later and let you guys hear these audios, and because like I said, that was a lot of unbelievable stuff. But definitely gonna let you hear all that. And they dismissed the charges, all these battery charges right here and everything. They knew they're wrong, and it was frustrating, but at the same time, I was just waiting for them I knew God was done in darkness come to light. So whatever God had to reveal was going to be revealed, that this is not what happened. This truth was going to reveal the truth. So they were lying. They were doing everything and Irma's going to be, like I said, what's done in darkness come to light. I'm still finding out things that they're doing to me and spiteful things. So I also want to make this video too, in case anything does happen to me. There's some insane things you're going to hear that they've said about me and done to me that. So in case anything happens, we know exactly who did it. It's Cobb County, Irma Glover, or some way, some tie. And until she lets me go, it's so crazy. Like, I got an audio recording that I'm going to share with you that is the most recent one. And it's from Friday. My probation officer supervisor called and said that, started harassing me. He's like, Irma Glover is saying that she wants to bring you in for Faye to comply with probation, and you're refusing to. What? What are you talking about? I haven't done anything. I'm just sitting here chilling. You have me on this unsupervised probation. We had a hearing a couple months ago, right, where the probation officer, my lawyer, and everyone petitioned to have probation closed because probation officer said everything was satisfied. We're done. Lawyer said they're done. Irma Glover said, well, his evaluation said he's in treatment still. My treatment now. He's in treatment, so I want to watch him. I want to keep him on. I'm going to watch him still. You're going to watch me? Is that legal or that your decision? We're going to see how far that goes, Irma Glover. But anyway, so that's why that's where I'm at right now. On this up in the air, unsupervised probation. And she called me recently last weekend. Had her assistant for the probation call and say that I hadn't been doing anything they want me to do. And I asked them to explain to me what it was, and they couldn't. And they said I hadn't turned in letters. And as soon as I told the lady that, she started harassing me and everything and saying I'm coming to court and I'm filing this and that and you're violating this and that. And I said, okay, well, I want you to know that this phone call has been recorded, and I just met with an attorney, and I am not dealing with your bullying anymore. And let Irma Glover know that I know she's in the background listening to this phone call on three-way, and I'm coming after you. I'm going to sue Cobb County and everything they're worth and get them down and get you. And everyone that has been done is going to speak up and sell their story and say what has to be said, what happened to them, and you guys are going to pay and start doing things the right way. So that's just what I believe, and it's just crazy that we're at this point, and I'm just on this probation that Irma Glover just wants to hold on to, and nobody wants me on it, and she's holding on. So I'm just kind of here stuck in the air with that, and just praying to God get me through that, and Right now, we are at the point where since those charges are dismissed with the battery, we can go back to them after them with the beating and my false arrest with the um, falsely beating Ricky and accusing me with it. We can finally go back and attack that, but Irma Glover is holding me out to. I'm gonna tell you some legal stuff right now. She's holding me out right now on purpose because all those court dates I showed you, all the emotions and stuff that she ignored, and all that stuff she broke law, and the videos that they edited, it's been over. She drug it out so it passed the year mark, statute of limitations, so I could not fully pursue her. But there's some things that she could not escape, like the false imprisonment and things that happened that are going to go down hard for her. And that's why I'm speaking now, and I can't speak any later. I should have spoken before to stop it. Even though she had this probation over me, and I was told by my lawyer that, oh, I don't think it's wise to go against someone that we can probably persuade later to help you. And that was the dumbest advice I ever got from an attorney, and I hated that. And you wouldn't ever do that. You speak up for what is right, and unfortunately some people have lost their life over it, but it leads the way for other people. And I appreciate the people who have, and the Sandra Bland story speaks for itself, and she spoke up, and I appreciate that I was able to speak up and not lost my life. And Irma Glover tried to, and by sending special notes to take my medication and put me false imprisonment for 10 days and sending me no court, no bond, no court date, and bringing me in and out of court. And there's some things that are also that are set in stone, are proof that Irma Glover tried to kill me that I'm not going to reveal on this video that are going to be in the court. And they're going to be embarrassing for certain members of the Glover family and her, and I don't want to. My purpose of this video is not to slander her name or anyone's name, so I'm not going to do that. But I just want to know I have proof for everything I'm saying. I'm not just talking bluff. It never was bluff, and Irma Glover, I don't know what she was doing. I don't know what she's doing to other people, and it's going to come to an end, and I'm just... Thank you for everyone for listening to this 2-hour video. I really expected this to be 15 minutes, wrap it up, but I just ended up showing all my paperwork, and it's only half of it, and I'm just happy I'm able to speak, and I feel so free, and I've been very absent and, kind of hidden from YouTube and everything, and just a little update on that too is like, in 2008, I will refresh everyone that I had the offer with Sony Music to sign with them for $1 million and whatnot, and I went to sign with them, and things didn't work out because they wanted me not to write my own songs and not be who I was, and they wanted to put me in front of an artist and do everything for me, and that sounds great and great to some people. To some people, that sounds great, and that's what they wanted, but I am much more or less shallow with that. It's money. You need money to eat and live and whatever, but it does not last forever. And that is not my goal. I do it for the love and how I make people feel and how people make me feel when I write a song that they say changed their life and everything. And, I was doing that on my own and everything. And this has come and interrupted all that. I used to do my open mics at the Mayor Square and just various performances everywhere. And it's just... this journey alone and some of the things I've been through and being in prison and everything is creating such a, unfortunately, some really good material. Or not unfortunately, fortunately, some really good material for me to write in an emotional standpoint that I never could have had before. Because, when I didn't take that record deal, I was coming fresh out of homeschool. And I wasn't ready for the world. And anyone who's kind of been in the music business and known some degree of what goes on in it knows that there's some evil things about it, and it's not what it is. And I'll just briefly say that I am, there is some things that I'm not okay with, and was okay with doing, and being a part of, and I knew if I could have that offer from them, I could do it on my own. And the offer came again in 2012, and it was, half the amount, whatever, and they offered for housing and all this cool stuff and whatever, but that wasn't right either, and I kind of had a lot of regret, for the last couple of years over that, and I was, kind of regretful, and like I should have taken that chance. And always people like, I heard sayings of, don't give up opportunities, you might not get another one, and that's true. But I just felt in my heart that since I was a baby and I was born, I knew I was supposed to sing and write music and create music to make people feel better and just make people feel good, period. And save people, which is what I want to do with this Irma Glover thing, and save people that have been false in prison and are sitting there asking for help. That I did when I was in there. And I I'm just really ready to share this music because I'm telling you, it's really gonna be special, and it's been years in the making, in the writing, and there's gonna be some things you're gonna see that are a lot deeper to me than I may put on Facebook. And I don't speak too much about my personal business, and it's not anybody's business, nor is yours mine, and whatnot. And I try to strictly stay to as a singer, as a professional, you know, and put stuff that might be music related or to my business, but you know, it's kind of hard not to sometimes put personal stuff out there. But you know, I'm ready to put that through the music and let that be the outlet for that. And anything that anyone needs to hear about me or know about me, you will hear it through this music. And I have some very special performances, and actually some performances where I'm going to do something very special where I want to give back to everyone. So much was taken from me in this process, and I lost parts of myself and what I wanted to do. And you know, I couldn't get a regular job through this, because you get a job, whatever, you pass the drug test, you go through the background check, and they pop open, you have an open court case. Irma Glover dragging this out for all this time, I was unable to just get a regular job to make this singing thing happen normally. So I thank God for the resources and other opportunities He provided that came along the way, that provided a chance to, now that I can say I'm able to do this music thing on my own, and with Ricky and the people that he has around me. He is sending and guiding and leading people every single day to make this dream happen. And Ricky, I say when he goes, he is the head of this, and he is my right-hand man in all of this, and just in all of this, in all of everything, every aspect of my life, and just there for me for everything. And he has witnessed all this with me, everything. He has witnessed this with me, with Irma Glover, and been there through jail. He fought through me with jail, everything I can't even repay. And for him to be taken to jail and beat like the way he was beat, I can't wait for justice to be served in that aspect. But we have a lot to share. I'm telling you, I'm not just saying it's like every other. I'm not saying anyone else doing music or what they do. You do your thing, and everyone has their opportunity to make it the way they make it. But I always knew I was going to be able to gratefully, humbly make it on my own without a record deal and whatever. And now I'm already going to, with Cobb County or whatever, regardless, I'm going to be able to do that. And I'm saying that because I would never let Irma Glover, Cobb County, the police, beating, nobody ever take that dream from me. And my hopes and dreams and songs I'm writing and everything, the body has taken a major toll on all this and my voice, but it's still there, and it's still popping, and still ready to share this music. And I'm excited, and I'm probably saying a lot now. This is 2 hours, but that felt good. I'd say that was like therapy, and you're probably gonna do this more often. Just talk, because my voice was taken from me. A lot of my voice was tried to be taken from me with this court thing. And it's not the fact that it was just the court, because we all know what the courts are gonna do and the police are gonna do and the lying and all this. But I knew this judge, and that just created a whole new spin on things. Like, you can know an ignorant judge, that's one thing too, but I knew this judge. So not only did I just expect to have sympathy, I'm not asking for that, so nobody say that. I wasn't asking for sympathy. It was just understanding, like, I don't know, first of all, what I was asking for by me saying I knew this judge was, you cannot be on my case in the first place. It's conflict of interest, and that should have happened from the beginning. She knew it, I knew it, I said it, she went against it, so what can we do about it? I love y'all. I really appreciate the support. Be listening out. I have a show. I have a very special show. I haven't really announced much about it on Facebook, so I guess I'll just take this video to talk about it. I do have a show that I am planning very soon. It's going to be very different. I'm going to debut a few songs that I've been writing on. Some that I've been working on for years in the work. Some that I just wrote this week. Some that I might write the day before the show. But they're going to be on the album, and they're going to be very close and intimate, and just a little taste into what's to come, the album. And I'm really excited to announce that. And the shows are coming, and the show's going to be really cool. And I want to be a different artist. I don't want to be... I don't want to say too much what I'm about. I want to show. So at my shows, my concerts, I'm going to be different, and I want to treat my fans like my family. And at these shows, everyone's going to eat, have a full course dinner. We're gonna have some great performances, some really intimate music that's gonna be prepare to cry. I'm hoping you cry. And that sounds kind of mean, but I just know I want you to be touched and healed and something that is going to benefit you later. And you walk away with something wholesome and just good and not too, bubblegummy pop wholesome, but it's just, it's going to get edgy there. And I'm going to reveal some secrets and get deep, and we're going to have a good time. We're going to have a good time. We're going to be close and be intimate and have dinner and great food, have some fun, listen to great music. And anyone that wants to be a part of this journey, just listen out. I'm very, very busy working on my, I have my own studio now. I'm working full time in that, and I'm trying to work on that, and still trying to live through all this Irma Glover stuff and everything she's done, and because God has put that in me and it won't be taken away. So once that is, kind of wrapped up, I'll be able to move forward further and go and tackle this even more than I have. But some of the material I've came up with throughout this process is incredible, and I never would have been able to have it without, experiencing what I experienced with Irma Glover. And it's been a nightmare, especially the fact that I know her, and it's just, I know her. Like, this lady knew me when I was at St. Jude's running around climbing the trees when I was a little kid, and served on the vestry with my parents at church. And for her to be doing me like this is just, it's a nightmare. And I'm over crying about it. I was crying loud about it and crippled to the bed with anxiety and could not get up. And I'm feeling better. I'm getting better. I decided I'm going to fight back. And I prayed every day that God, even though I didn't felt it, I prayed every day that God would give me the strength, the courage, the endurance to make it through just today. And I did. And when I made it through today, I knew tomorrow was going to come. And it did. And I just took it there. And now I'm feeling so much better and feeling so happy that I'm revealing all this to you all, because so much has been said about me, what I go on, what I've been doing, or what's going on with me, and what and what not. And nobody seems to really talk to me directly about those things and take the moment. I'm right there. You can ask me exactly what you have to say, and I'm not the kind of person where you gotta just cold word it. Just talk to me, and just respectfully. If you respect me, I'm going to respect you. As simple as that. And there's a lot of talk about certain things, and I'm just happy to kind of clarify why I've been so quiet and silent and busy through this and the torture. And if anyone out there does know a lawyer or anyone, like I said, we won our workers' comp case without an attorney. The state of Georgia didn't settle within 12 years, and we dedicated to that, and we hunkered down, and we won, and that was a success. And so if anyone does know a lawyer that might be interested in this kind of conspiracy stuff, and not really to just not listen, but hear this and really take this full on forward. We met with one lawyer that gave our money back and was like, you guys have a real case here, and the next lawyer you find, make sure they can dedicate their full time to you, because this cannot be anything less. They have to take their whole time, and if not, we're going to do it on our own. And I've done this much so far and got Irma back, and I'm not going to stop, because I can feel it. There are people calling out, needing help from what Irma Glover has done to them, and I'm going to help them. I'm going to help them. And this is not about just me, and whatever happens out of this result, I will use those resources to give back, to fund the music and make it a better for everyone, and several other things to prevent this from happening. I promise that, and we'll make that happen. So I appreciate all the support and all the love, and I just really, really thank God that I'm still here. I'm smiling now to say that, and it seemed like it wasn't that bad, but it was horrible, y'all. It was hell. It was hell, and I'm not going to discount that in any way. And so much stuff had happened that is so sketch, and our phone has been tapped. Our phones are being tapped. Like, we have iPhones, we were on the phone, and you can hear the clicking of everything, the recording and everything, the read messages. You leave your messages on your iPhone unread. And we woke up, one day after this Irma Glover thing, last Friday, and all the text messages were read in the phone. And you mean to tell me nobody's watching our stuff? Or the phone will start playing music. I just like our Facebook has been hacked like 3 times. Emails been hacked. Emails have been read that are in our inbox. I mean, no one else has a password to, are just read in our inbox, and it's just crazy stuff. And even with the robbery that happened, a lot of people have told me that they believe that was a setup and it was an inside job. That is not far-fetched at all. Not far-fetched at all. That person was just completely is evil. Like I said, with the settlement that happened, the success that happened with the workers' comp settlement, that people knew that there was a difference in financial situation and assumed certain things and assumed numbers and assumed whatever, and decided instead of asking for help, they were just going to take it. And we didn't know the person, and before all that was going on, the struggle, before you go through that, you go through time of wearing. I went through time where we were wearing bleached out clothes. We were on the bus. We were going through so much, and we met this person, and they had helped us one day with some not gas money, but bus money, and vice versa. And that was it. And one day they had asked to borrow some money, you know what I'm saying, and to help them out because they was going to be evicted from their apartment and whatnot. And us trying to help and help everyone. I go to meet him. Everything's cool. We're out in the open. I walk by, meet him at the pool house at the apartment. This dude puts a gun to my head. Puts a gun to my head just like this. And I don't know him like that. I never added him on Facebook. We just known each other because I moved from Cobb County to Decatur. And, I at that time I was taking more public transportation. And, things have improved way since then. And I thank God for getting us through that. But in that time, you still met people and go through that. So he was one of the people that we met through that, and we helped him out and whatnot. And I was going to help him that day. He had asked for $50 to pay for his rent and avoid being evicted. So I went and met him in a public area. I still kind of felt sketch because it was the first time I wasn't with Ricky and had met with him before or hung out with him. And we didn't go inside anywhere. We just were outside. And he puts a gun in my head. And he's like, you know what this is. You know what this is. And puts a gun in my head. And I'm like, what are you doing? I would have given you the money if you would have asked me. And I reach in my pocket and I give him the 50. Like, here it is right there. I was going to give it to you. And he said, oh, hell no, that's not enough. I know that's not all you got. He reaches his hand and in my pocket and pulls out the rest of the water cash I had. And he clicks the gun. And it's in my neck at this point. He clicks the gun and reaches his hand in my other pocket and takes it out. And in a mix of all that, $1 fell to the floor. He told me to turn around and bend down and get that dollar. And I bent down to get the dollar. He told me to turn around, and I bent down to get the dollar, and he clicked the gun again, and it didn't go off. And I turned around. I was like, God, just please get me home. Just get me out of this. And I turned around, and he was gone, running up the steps. And I called him. I had his phone number. Called him and told him, you're going down. I'm going to call the police on you. Like, what are you doing? I know where you stay. I know where you live at. Whatever. But running out the apartment complex, and here he goes, driving by with someone else, and just driving past me in the apartment complex. I'm calling the police. They don't want to answer. I called 3 times on my phone. I got it proved that. I called 4 times, actually, that I called them. They didn't answer. I got an Uber, got out of there. Call the police. We got all that taken care of, but and that's still kind of unresolved. And later on, I went and put the person's Facebook phone number in on Facebook, and I saw that they had guns. The gun that they used to rob me, money and all that stuff. Talking about, hey, it's nothing to rob people, all this. And if I would have known that, this person wouldn't have been a close friend. But like I said, I'm so busy. I don't add everybody on Facebook. I don't stay on Facebook and look at everybody's life. I have a life that. You may see me logged on to Facebook, but my Facebook is logged in there, sitting there next to my bed, and I'm not even near there, or sitting next to a table. And I got 2 or 3 phones I operate out of, and I don't have time to check on that one Facebook. So, it's just, that's just a lot. And that was that situation. I know I had scared a lot of people about that and worried them about that situation with the red, and I know there's a lot going on, but maybe he's after seeing this video, hearing some of this audio, seeing this some more of these documented proof that we're going to show to you over the next couple of days, you will understand that it is a conspiracy. It was conjured up. Somebody is doing something evil, and they're playing around and doing stuff. It's a conspiracy theory. I cannot say it any other way. There's no way to describe it any other way. It's a paper trail they left. We got it. There's nothing they can say. This is the one time that I know I can see I've been stopped by police, phone being tapped, everything. Everything that everyone used to say about these things is true. I got it right here. And I know the judge. I know what she's doing. So I know how to find out if it's fake. So y'all stay tuned. I do have some singing videos, real singing videos of my music coming soon. I don't want to leak it too much because I do write my own music, remember, and everything. So I don't want to put it out like that and avoid any kind of copyright stuff and yada yada yada. So I'm gonna do covers a lot for now still, and do little snippets of my music. But just as a little pre-warning, I do have over 500 to 1,000 songs just written out in a bin, just ready to go forward. So that is not the hold up. It is just the process of being creative and getting the songs right and molding them and building them how I want them to be, which is important, and how it will convey the feeling, which is important to you all. And if I'm not feeling it, nobody's feeling it. So I gotta get that right. And so no rush on that, really. Yeah, that's about it. And really appreciate you listening to this Irma Glover stuff. And Irma, I'm not done with any of this. It's exposing. I have so much more. I have Adam Abate's recording coming tomorrow. Jennifer Moore's recording. I got the Cobb County Sheriff's officers on recording, admitting that they beat Ricky Johnson. Before they arrested me, they admitted that they beat him, but they dealt with their officers, and they're not going to tell us what it is because none of our business. I don't know how it's not. But they did that, so they admitted to beating him and then arresting me and blaming me. So we got that coming. We got a few more, a lot of audio. We had like 30 clips of audio to go through. So many things we're going to sort through it, and that's what's taking so long now. It's just audio, getting it kind of arranged in order to kind of narrate it through everyone. So it's kind of hard to follow. So God bless everyone. Thank you always for the support over the years of watching me on YouTube, on Instagram, on MySpace, on Facebook, on Instagram, on everything I've been on. I appreciate it. Just follow me. God bless. Y'all be peace. Y'all be easy.